Hi guys, I wanted to do a case study, and what a case study is in the past, all the readings that I've done and all the visions that I've had and all the stuff that's happened to me and that I've utilized my gift, I've actually gotten permission from the people involved and asked, hey, in the future, am I able to use this information to tell others? And they've all granted me permission. I did tell them, though, I would change the names and the locations and any pertinent details, so no one would know specifically who it is, because it's a privacy thing. When I do a reading for someone, I don't go to my family and say, hey, I just did a reading for that girl over there and guess what she said to me. I don't do that. I like anonymity when it comes to this and privacy. So anyway, so let me tell you what happened. I had a dream one night, and I was standing in a hospital room, and there was these icky brownish orangish colored floors, and obviously there were 2 hospital beds in the room with people in the hospital beds, and there were no flowers. There was a bouquet of balloons, no flowers anywhere. There were a couple of cards. There was a calendar on the wall that said the date. There was a clock that had the time above it, and then the patient there was a young kid, 18, 19 years old, appeared to be in the bed, and he was hooked up to a lot of stuff. And anyway, so I could see out the window. He was next to the window, and I could see out the window, and I saw the beginning of this sign. Anyway, and I had no clue what any of this meant. I was like, I woke up thinking, why am I dreaming of these people in this hospital room? So I had been dealing with this gentleman who was helping my youngest son get onto a specific baseball league. And so I had been communicating with him. Well, I hadn't heard from him in a while, and I thought that was kind of strange because he was supposed to call me and let me know what the outcome was and what the details were for my son. So I decided to give him a call that next day. So I gave him a call, and his secretary answered. And I said, yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of, Joe, and, Joe's not answering, and, what the heck's going on? He never called me back, blah, blah, blah. And she said, well, he's kind of had an emergency in his family, and and she got kind of quiet, and all of a sudden, I don't know how to explain it. I said, is there something wrong with his son? And she's like, yeah. And I said, is his son in the hospital? And she's like, yeah. And I said, wow. So I began to describe Billy to her, and I described his hospital room, I described the bouquet of balloons, I described looking out the window and seeing the sign. The word was state. It was state IN was the sign, the part of the sign that I saw. And so I'm explaining this, and so the girl said, oh my God. She goes, wait a minute. She goes, how do you know all this? She goes, you just nailed everything. She's like, I was just there. She said, I was just in his hospital room, and you just described him and everything in his room. She's like, how do you know about all this? Because she knew that, they were on the West Coast, I was on the East Coast. She knew, I'd never been there. And I said, you're going to think I'm crazy, but let me tell you how I know. So I explained to her that I have this gift, blah, blah, blah. So she, of course, was just like blown away. Well, so we parted ways on the phone. That night, Billy, the kid, he came to me, and he proceeded to tell me that, oh, I'm sorry, okay, long story short, he ended up ultimately passing away. Alright, so this kid comes to me, and he proceeds to tell me that I need to get a hold of his parents, that I need to call his mother, I need to let them know they need to go forward with the wedding. And I was like, what are you talking about? Well, he was supposed to be the best man in his cousin's wedding, and he had been in a car accident, was supposed to be okay, developed some kind of infection, and died suddenly. So he knew that they were canceling the wedding, and he didn't want his cousin to cancel the wedding. He wanted him, his cousin, and his little brother, all 3 of them were like 18 months apart in age, and he said, I want my little brother to fill in my part as best man. I want them to go forward with the wedding. I don't want them to cancel the wedding for my funeral. That's the last thing that I want. I don't want this to be a solemn, sad occasion. I want to celebrate that my cousin's getting married. It's a new beginning for him, and I want to celebrate that. So I was like, okay. So I called, and I ended up, he gave me the phone number, and I called, and I ended up getting through. I talked to the mother, and at first of course she thought I was crazy. And long story short, what I do is, with the person that's passed, I ask them to give me something that no one else could know. For example, if there was a nickname that they were called, or something to that effect that there's no way I would know, or that anyone else would know, that it was private between those people. So Billy gave me a couple of things that his mother would know that it was real. And so I told her, and she got quiet, and then she started sobbing hysterically on the phone, and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And so I passed the message on and told her, and, you know, she asked me some questions to ask him, and I asked him, and you know, she got her answers, and she was really, she said it brought her like so much comfort. And they ended up going forward with the wedding. They were actually they had people on the phone when I called, canceling the caterer or canceling the flowers to cancel the wedding. So she was grateful that I got through, and she said, you know, she found some closure, being able to talk to her son in essence through me. But so yeah, they went on with the wedding, and they had a big picture of Billy sitting there next to his cousin. Sorry. This gets emotional for me, you know, because these are real lives and real people, and it's, you know, it is an emotional thing. But anyway, yes, so they went on with the wedding, which was awesome. I heard it was amazing. So yeah, it ended up, you know, it was a sad occasion because of course he was gone, but it was a happy occasion, you know, because he wanted it to be a good occasion and to be a positive thing, you know. So it went forward, everything was great, and so yeah, so that's my case study for today. And here's another thing that I want to do for my channel. I need to get subscribers. So first of all, I don't know if I really explained anything about myself. Per se, I'm married. I have 3 kids. I have a grandson. Anyway, so my husband, I actually have an illness that I'm dealing with. But my husband is actually pretty sick, and he's been laid off for a while, and he's sick, and so we're dealing with that, and that's been kind of rough. But you know, I've tried to I want to get this channel up and running, and get it going, because I want to educate the public. You know, people, it's always been so taboo, you know. People like me are, you know, psychics have always been taboo, and I think now in today's society, people are more accepting and more open to people like me now, and, you know, they're starting to realize that we're not fake, that we are real. I mean, there are a lot of fake people out there like me, you know, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people that try to have the gift that I have, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't ask for this. It was given to me. You know, I did ask for it to advance and grow, and it was given to me, and I'm grateful for it. But I want to help people to where they don't get stuck with fakes. You know, I want people to be knowledgeable and to know what they're getting into, and to have a positive experience with people like me. So, yeah, guys, give me a thumbs up, like me, leave me a comment below. If you're recommended by somebody, put it down below, because in a couple of days I'll figure out who's got the most recommendations, and I'll give you a free reading. So yeah, so give me a thumbs up, like me, and come back by and subscribe to my channel, and thanks so much. Ciao.